Please be advised that the following video is not safe for work.
Okay, so on our last episode we talked about body positivity, right?
Yes.
And so
Yes.
I decided that I want to make Faith.
Faith, the comic book Faith.
Yes, the comic book Faith.
Okay.
Because I have to say that her body is pretty much the exact same as mine. I have always thought of this. So fat to me is a descriptor. It is not a personality trait.
Yeah.
So I have no problems telling people I'm fat.
Yeah.
Right? Because I am. I'm a plus size person. I'm
like
fat.
how we both agree. Yeah.
Right? I don't have any
too.
problem telling people that I'm fat.
Yeah.
I have been skinny in my life. I have been fat in my life. I have been both. As long as I can keep up to my friends and be healthy, like when I go to the doctor's and he tells me that everything comes out perfect, then it's not that I don't want to be skinny. Obviously, life is easier when you're skinny. And that's
cheaper when you're skinny.
Right, it's cheaper when you're skinny for sure. But I definitely know that there's health benefits, and we're probably going to take some flack on, being a plus size. But trust me, when you're plus size, you're always trying to lose weight, whether it's like, diets or this or that, or you just, because it's not as acceptable by society to be plus size.
I'm going to tell you right now, every chubby person out there, every plus size person out there knows exactly what causes them to be chubby.
Right.
And they know what they need to do
they're not
to get
unaware.
skinny. And they're not unaware of what they need to do to get skinny. So that's, we don't need the rest of the universe. We don't need the rest of the universe telling us what we need to do to get skinny, because we already know what it is.
Right.
But, you know what? Some of us, like you said, have been skinny at times in their lives. And quite frankly, I'm at the point in my life where, and this is just me, where who cares?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I've done my 5 hours a day at the gym. I have dieted, I have done the smell the tacos, eat the celery diet. I have...
Was that in college?
No. But that was a different diet.
Oh my God.
I
just caught on.
You just caught on.
It took me a little bit there. Oh my God, I just died a little.
It does work. We've all been there. So we all know what we need to do.
Absolutely, we've all been there.
But I think fandoms and geekdoms have probably been the most unsympathetic to somebody who is not model or athletic and that goes for both women and for men. I think it's just sad but true. But
right, no, it's true. Let's look at He-Man.
Yeah,
let's look at He-Man.
Unrealistic.
See, but how many men actually will there's not that many who have that physique. So they aspire to, maybe they I don't know, maybe they feel like they need to aspire to look like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because I'm not in a boy's body, so I don't understand that. The need to look like He-Man, but I do understand being a plus-size cosplayer, and there's a couple things I want to talk about with being a plus-size cosplayer. The first thing I like to talk about is, lots of people will say, do whatever you want, cosplay whoever you want, and I totally 1000% agree with that, but it's not for me.
This is my opinion on that. As I start it up higher.
It's not for me.
Well, and that's fair, but I think that anybody can wear whatever they want as long as you dress your body right.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
So for me, after I had my child, it's a long story, but essentially I put on a whole bunch of weight nursing, because it's actually a lifestyle that you lose weight when you're nursing.
It's lie.
I'm good, right? It's lies. They're all lies. So I have this hanging belly, and I don't like to show it off. And that's my personal preference. I have nice knockers. So I like to show those off.
You have what I call the upper deck and the lower mezzanine.
Right. Totally. I call it my reverse ass, actually. Because I have the world's flattest butt, but then my belly is like in the same area and it's large, so it's my reverse ass.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
Right. That's actually what I call it. So, with that being said, I like to cover that area. So when you look at Faith in the comic, she actually pretty much has my body, which is super bizarre. Like, here's an example. So she has, the belly, the hanging belly, which is crazy. But her outfit doesn't technically cover her belly in all the imagery. I'm going to try to find where it's like, yeah, so like here, she's not completely covered. But I'm going to make my Faith so that it is covered. Now, interestingly enough, I also have the world's longest torso.
You do. Like, making your onesie, I can honestly tell you, when we made her onesie, we had to go get a duvet zipper. Just because there wasn't a zipper long enough in the world to cover you except for a duvet zipper.
Yeah.
So my torso is 4 inches longer than an average standard pattern. So that doesn't seem like much, but when you add 4 1/4 inches, because you need the seam allowance, that's this much extra length on average. So I have the world's shortest little legs. I have 28.5-inch inseam.
I have longer legs than she has, and I'm 5 feet tall.
So I am literally all torso. So when I think about approaching a cosplay that I'm going to have to alter, obviously. In this case, I'm going to have to add length onto the pattern. So I have found a couple patterns I'm going to use to make this cosplay. So this is one. This is a simplicity pattern. I have it here somewhere, but I can't find it, so I'm going to show it to you guys on my phone. It is, it's from the Matrix, but it's simplicity pattern 8482, and it's got 2 really cool duster jackets. So I like the other one with the giant zipper. I think it's super neat. I think this would be a handy pattern for cosplayers to have for sure. The reason why I like this one is if you look at Faith's jacket, the way that the jacket falls is very similar to this.
Yeah.
But I'm going to actually have to combine probably 2 or 3 patterns. So the next pattern I'm going to combine is actually a men's pattern. Also a duster jacket. This one's a McCall's pattern, but the reason why I chose this one is if you look at the pattern itself, it has the breakdown where her teal is already built in, so that'll make my life a lot simpler. However, the shoulders on this aren't right, so I'm going to use the female body base of the first simplicity, and then I'm going to use the top portion of the McCall's. But what else I'm going to do?
It's be batshit
I know,
crazy and
because I
combine like
all the
1,000.
patterns, yeah.
So this shirt is from Torrid, and it is technically almost identical to the Faith shirt, except for it has buttons and the different colors. So I'm actually going to seam rip this as well and use this as my actual sizing because this fits me perfectly.
Nice.
So yeah, so I'm going to have to combine all 3, and I'm going to do it on, believe it or not, I'm going to make it on floral paper. And the reason why I say that is because floral paper is like a stiff paper, but it's not overly stiff, it's not see-through, so it's going to last a long time, but it's cheap. It's like $12.99 for a roll like this, and because I have such a long torso, I end up having to redo patterns all the time. So I buy these giant rolls of floral paper, and I use them to make my patterns because I have to literally adjust every single commercial pattern out there. So sometimes it's easier for me to just draft my own. Yeah.
Well, I draft my own patterns anyways, but
She's batshit crazy.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I'm like that. When you pay for a university education to figure out how to draft patterns,
Use it.
Yeah.
is really what it comes down to. But I mean, I've got weird body issues too. I literally have like no shoulders, but for whatever's up there out in space, if God, whatever, has a sense of humor, proves it. No shoulders, and let's give her huge knockers. It's really what it does. So I don't know, how my bra stays up is really, I think, just sheer willpower.
Willpower.
When it comes to
Oh,
it.
that's fantastic.
So, yeah, which is, really weird for me. And then I'm short, I'm 5 feet tall, I've got a shorter torso and longer legs. So you know, and I'm in the same boat with you. I'm a plus size gal. I've been a plus size gal for quite some time, and yeah. So when it comes to cosplaying, I think probably the way that I cosplay is because, and the way that I usually cosplay is I do interpretations of like characters, and I do mashups and that sort of thing. Is because most of the characters that are out there are just not relatable to my body.
Yeah.
Right. A lot of the cosplays I've done over the years have been relatable. So, like, Fiona from Shrek Ever After, and I'm trying to think who else I've done. Well, I actually do a female Flash, which is totally not related to my body type. You know, and then there's the Ghostbusters suit, which I love.
Yeah.
I love being a buster because you can literally have any shape, and everybody involved in that organization literally is every shape on the planet, so that's kind of cool.
They're great.
Yeah, great little group of people.
But I think the other thing that people need to understand is that patterns are deceiving.
Oh, they are.
Yeah,
because you can be a 10 and have to make a 14 in a pattern. So
And,
don't be scared about that. Don't freak out.
Yeah.
Go by your body measurements, not by the sizing of the pattern.
Yeah, and here's a tip for you gals out there too. If you're buying a pattern, buy to your bust size. Don't buy to anything else unless your waist size is actually bigger. Always buy to your bigger measurement. It's usually your bust size because everything else can be taken in.
Yeah.
So this is why it's very important to.
And again, it is deceiving because like people look at me and don't think I'm plus size, but I'm plus size.
In patterns, you are.
I'm plus size in like everything.
And that's because they're not standardized.
Exactly.
There's nothing in the clothing industry, by the way, that is standardized to meet certain sizing specifics.
The last time they did standardization of patterns was the World War II, right?
Yeah, it was in. Actually, no, that's not true. They did it in the 70s. But it was still, it's incorrect because the standard that they used at the time was actually a European standard, and as we know, a good deal of clothing is not produced in Europe, otherwise it would be really, really expensive. It's mostly produced in Asia and Indonesia, which is why there's no sort of standing. It was like sizing regulations on that. So when you go to buy a pattern, you may be a size 10 in the stores, but you go to buy a pattern, you're actually like a size 12 or 14 or even a 16 based upon your height and your sizes.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. So, but when it comes to like Faith, so I haven't read the comics, but I have like looked at the imagery because I kind of did the same thing that Colin did, and that was kind of like, ooh, a plus size character. I'm gonna get behind this and take a good look at it. But to me, I'm probably gonna ruffle some feathers when I say this. Is that I feel like the character is kind of pandering. I think it's not. I think they're like, hey, we need to make a body positive, character. Let's do this, and to me it's kind of like I said, pandering to it. So.
Well, you have to read the comic.
I'd have to read the comic, but when it first came out, I'm still kind of on the fence about Faith. Maybe I'll read it, and then I'll tell you later what I think of it. there's that. I'm willing to give it a chance.
Good. I'll send you home with the comic.
All right. So.
But yeah, so I'm gonna make her. So I actually have made the bodysuit already. I just have to finish one scene.
Ooh, look at you.
So it's see-through. Because white is see-through, and I don't know why I didn't think about
because Cosplay After Hours.
Well, Cosplay After Hours. There's a wonderful thing that I like to do with any of my bodysuits as a plus size gal, is I like to line any of like bodysuits and leggings with a thing called power mesh.
Is that the stuff from swimsuits?
It's a type of swimsuit lining, and what it does is I usually make it like just a size smaller than like the actual costume, because it like smooths out things as you're wearing it. So
well, let me tell you, this baby is see-through and about the ugliest thing I've ever made for my body, because it actually accentuates the belly issue that I have. That is like it's a self-esteem thing, and when I put it on, I was like, oh, that is ugly. So then I sent it to some of my body positive friends. I'm like, check this out. This is the ugliest thing I've ever made for myself. Because I'm okay with the fact that I know that I have the belly. I'm okay with that. I debate making this into leggings instead, but I want to stay true to the character. So I'm going to go with the bodysuit, even though I don't love it. But I do have to tell you, this baby needs some shapewear underneath because it is see-through. Not because I want to wear it, but because it is see-through, and I need to. You don't want to see my bits.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to see that except my husband.
There's a couple of people out of there who want to see
So the bodysuit is done, and if any of you guys want to sew bodysuits, Ashley's the queen.
Yeah.
But let me tell you, Jen always says that the serger is the microwave of the sewing room.
I swear by that, I'm going to have it on a shirt.
When it comes to bodysuits, literally this whole thing was serged together, with the exception of the crotch area. And that was still serged, but I did go in with a stitch around the U first to give it some extra strength, because we all know, especially plus size people, we know that when you bend over, the first area to go
is always the snapper. Always your crotch.
Always the crotch.
Always the
I
crotch.
did go over that with a stitch, and I'm actually going to do it again, which is why I have a clip there, because I know me, and I know that I'm always chasing a little one who is very lively. Let's just say she's lively. She's an asshole sometimes. And and I bend over a lot with her in tow because she's always in something. So I need to make sure that I have double protection. So I'm going to stitch that again.
So, funny story about bodysuits.
Yes.
And crotches.
Oh boy.
I have
snap crotches, because those are.
Yeah, I have a cat suit, and it's like a legit cat suit. So the zipper goes all the way. I wore it. It was fine. There was nothing wrong with it. I go to a con, and I literally split the crotch open, putting the costume on in the bathroom.
Oh my god.
At least you weren't on the con floor.
Yeah.
No, but I was meeting Adam West.
Oh gosh.
And I needed to have my Catwoman costume done, so I was in the bathroom at the sink, stitching my crotch shut in a black cat suit with yellow thread.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so that was fun.
Yay.
That was definitely fun.
Yeah.
I thought there was definitely going to be a story about black thread.
Right?
Yeah,
Black
like
thread,
hanging
black
down.
hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Sadly. But in that cat suit, we actually got asked to be in somebody else's photo op as well, because he really liked our costumes.
So it was worth the yellow thread.
It was worth
crotch.
the yellow thread in my crotch.
Yeah.
You know, I have a girlfriend who models, and I remember her once telling me that yes, models are spoiled little brats, and yes, they ask way too much money. She's like, but you know, you get your crotch stitched up by some stranger enough times, and you would be the same way too. Like, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. She's like, you know, there's nothing worse than the needle in the hoo-hoo. Like, yeah, I can totally see that.
People pay
Shout
for
out to you, Paula.
That's
Thanks for getting needles in the hoo-hoo so we can have Fashion Week.
Yeah.
needles
I'm all down with that.
in
That's
the
fine.
hoo-hoo.
That's all good.
Gucci gets cold.
So do you think, like, I mean, we've talked about, like, plus size people, but I mean, there's the reverse side of that.
Yes.
Is like the people who are skinny and, you know, just can't put on weight for the life of them.
Yeah.
I have yet to meet this person, but I've
haven't
heard
heard
they're
about
out there.
that.
I have heard that they were out there, and you know, if they have as many fit issues.
They
as
do.
we
I think for a lot of them, a couple of my friends that I've talked to anyways, it's the fact that no matter what they do, they can't seem to fix any of what they see as flaws. And to try and embrace them is hard too, because, I mean, if you have no boobs, no waist, and no butt, nothing fits you correctly.
No, that's true.
So we always have to adjust for our curves and our extra bits and pieces, and they seem to have to take away all the time because they don't have any bits or pieces.
To take away from that, yeah.
True.
You know. So they have just as many issues as
Exactly.
say
So
like
there's
a
no
plus-size
hate
person.
on for anybody.
No,
It's just
exactly.
make sure you know your body, make sure that you dress, you know, accordingly to your body size, shape,
Right.
and all of those things.
Absolutely. Dress to what you're comfortable to. If that means showing off your curves, then do it.
Yeah.
If that's like me, where it means covering the curves, then do it. I think, you know, I've been lectured a lot. Oh, you can do anything you want to do in cosplay, but I wouldn't feel comfortable doing, you know, a bikini version or Red Sonja. There's one. I
Yeah.
would definitely not feel comfortable doing Red Sonja. But I know other cosplayers who are plus size as well who rock the shit out of Red Sonja.
Yeah.
Breezy Weezy is
Yeah.
one. Oh my god, does she look stunning?
Yeah.
And she is plus size, and like her Red Sonja rocks out. So, you know, again, I wouldn't feel comfortable in it, but she looks amazing in it.
Yeah.
That's true. So.
So true.
But, like, what do you do when the character is, like, the ideal body type and that's what you're trying to, you know, emulate? Like, because, let's face it, being a cosplayer, like, the geeky genres are probably the most paid attention to genres there are. Like, you know, like, people know if you do something wrong.
Yeah, people are a-holes.
Yep.
People are a-holes, which, you know, I guess it comes into, like, interpreting the character, and that's probably why I do mashups as much as I do, and my own interpretation of characters is because it works for me, it works for my body type, I know what looks good on my body, so...
I think it comes down to, as long as you're confident in what you're wearing, who the cares what anybody thinks? Like, I've done Wonder Woman for years, and I am nowhere near Wonder Woman shape, like, at all. I'm short. I'm like a freaking midget compared to what she would be. I have very boxy shoulders. So, I mean, I'm very curvy and all these other things. So I am not Wonder Woman. But I don't care. It's what I want to be and what I want to do and whatever.
Well, and you know, sometimes, like, people compare to, like, one cosplayer to another.
Yeah,
that seems to
stop
happen
it.
a lot. And we actually had a conversation about this the other day. Like, stop it. It's like, because really, like, you know, there is some male cosplayers out there that have amazing physiques who rock out cosplays, and then there's cosplayers who maybe not as buff, if you will, but still rock out that same cosplay. And here's a prime example. So this is a huge shout out to Devouring Dark. He does one of the most amazing All Mights I've ever seen. And he also does one of the most amazing Gladys from Final Fantasy. But he gets compared a lot to Leon Chiro, who is an amazing cosplayer as well, who is a little bit more buff, if you will. Like, his muscles are more defined. I'm not even going to say he's more...
He's chiseled.
Right? But...
You could grate cheese on that guy.
Right? But I feel like it's a shame because they both do such a good job of those characters.
One's not better than the other.
No, not even a little bit. And in fact, like when I think about Gladys cosplayer, I totally go straight to Richard from Devouring Dark. I don't go to Leon Chiro.
Yeah.
And same with All Might, but those are also two cosplays that Leon's pretty famous for.
Yeah.
So it's interesting that, you know, but I'm sure lots of people would disagree with me and be like, no, I go to Leon.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, everybody does everything different, and again, as long as you're happy with what you're doing, there's nothing
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So...
Stitch.
That's it. Because right now you're unstitching corset that we talked about sizing and
yes. Yeah, this is like the prime example. This is like a Asian sizing, I guess you could say, corset, and I am again a very busty round person, so
but in this case you bought the size that you thought you were going to be
that I usually am in their corsets. So usually I'm a 3X in their corsets, and I bought this one, and it's a 3X, and I can do it up with it completely laced, and it still needs, like, to be tightened. So we're making modifications on it. And it's stitched by bricking stitch, because it will not seam rip without bricking.
I think for me, there isn't a costume that I have. I'm trying to think of, I think Edna's just about the only costume that I have where I don't corset. When I'm wearing cosplays. I'm trying to think, what else? Looking over at my husband, what other cosplay do? Because he would know, because he does up all my corsets. And Ghostbusters, yes. Well, I started off originally with a corset under Ghostbusters because I was wearing steel-toe boots and wearing the pack.
Was hard on your back.
Was hard on my back, and I had to wear the corset as back support as anything else. But it really wasn't shapewear. But everything else that I wear has a corset built into it, or I make my corset to go. Yes, my Leias don't wear corsets, thank God, but they are freaking heavy. Holy Ghost.
Okay, so I picked up a Star Wars comic the other day.
Okay.
And there is a version of Leia in this comic that I am in love with, and I think I might want to make it for Ollie.
Okay. Which one is which?
She has 3 buns and a little crown, and she has like gold.
You mean the blue and gold outfit from the crate?
No,
From
it's
the Ghost
red,
of Crate?
red and black.
Red and black. Okay.
She has gold like applique, and it's red and black, and it's like a long jackety dress thing.
Okay.
I will show you to you. It's beautiful.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Because that's the one comic that I am reading right now. I'm actually.
Star Wars comics?
What?
I know! Star Wars comics! I know.
That's shocking.
Yeah, I know. I've had to put away my Dark Horse ones because I did have the Dark Horse series. But now I'm
Okay,
back to
here,
Marvel.
this one.
Oh, yes. Okay. Yeah.
Nice.
I think that's from
See?
one of the Forces of Destiny ones. Or the
Star Wars
remastered
Adventures.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is so cute.
So.
I saw it, I was like, oh my god, look at that in all of its
I
glory!
I thought you were talking about the Ghost of Crate ones, and I was like, I've already bought the fabrics.
No. This is right after the Death Star explodes, and they think they're in the clear, and so they...
You're giving away the plot.
Okay, well, okay, I
they're
won't
not.
then. But anyway,
Go get
so
the
she
pop.
goes for a meeting, and that's what she's wearing.
Yeah. Because she's stylish like that.
Because she is stylish.
So Leia, I don't have to corset
Layla.
for it. Layla.
Layla. Who's
Layla. Anyways,
Yep.
I don't have to corset for Leia, so which I'm very happy about. So which works out well for me. So, but yeah, that's one way I guess of like. I don't know if you consider it being body positive or anything, but I just feel more comfortable when I'm wearing one, especially with my corsets. It kind of smooths everything out for me.
I love day 2 after corset when you put a corset on again.
Yeah, exactly, and you're like smaller and you like fit into everything a lot better.
Yes, and it feels so, it's like, oh, I have to tighten that corset
I have
even
to
tighter.
Tighten it up. Yeah, my husband hates that day.
I love that day.
But he also, he's also very supportive of me getting out of the corsets because
Because that's when he gets his cheeseburger.
That's when we get my cheeseburger.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, that's my.
It's your thing.
It's my
the
thing after being
cheeseburger.
in a corset all day long. I'm like, I need a cheeseburger.
What is the longest you've ever worn a corset at a con?
It must have been about. I'm trying to think.
At least 8. You've done 8 with Death Star.
I've done 8 with the Death Star, and I was nearly dying, but that was mostly because of the skirt, because it's so freaking heavy. I've worn corsets for like movies and costume recreation stuff. So when you're on like sets and stuff like that, and you're like in background, and they put you in a corset, you're in that corset for like 14, 16 hours, you know. But at the same time, you can sit down in it, so.
So it's not as bad.
It's not as bad, and I mean, we could probably do an episode just alone on corset safety.
Yeah.
Just because there's lots of good and bad corsets out there, so it's really about your body too. But
We should do an episode on corset
we
safety
should do an episode.
and
Write that down.
right. Yes.
So, but yeah, for cosplay safety and that sort of thing. But I mean, that's just me, and I actually feel better in a corset wearing one, I guess, with my costumes and stuff like that. I think it gives that sort of final look. I don't suggest everybody corset, but if you can.
Yeah, I have back issues.
Yeah.
So for me, corsetting is like ideal, especially for walking on like cement and stuff all day.
Yeah.
It kind of like makes me have good posture, and then as soon as I get out of it, I'm like a ball of mush. But yeah, it definitely helps.
Like, give me water, get me to pee, and give me my cheeseburger.
Yeah. Well, that's not me, but it's usually get me out of this, let me curl up in a ball, and give me some Tylenol.
Yeah.
So that's usually how I end up.
No, I usually like wearing my corsets, so that's one of the things that I do as a cosplayer. It's you.
Most of my costumes are corset.
Yeah. So. Yeah, which is true. You do that too. So.
She likes the bodysuits and the
I do.
corsets.
And the
That one-
corsets. You do usually the bodysuit corset combinations.
Usually,
Yeah.
yeah.
Which works out really well for you.
It does.
But yeah.
And me, I like comfort.
You like comfort. You like give me the stretch. If it's made out of t-shirt, I'll do it.
Yeah. Some of my, I like the comfort.
So I think one of the things that leads to us being so self-conscious probably about being in corsets and costumes and that sort of thing is kind of like, let's face it, the internet is merciless with regards to like trolling and all that sort of stuff. So how do we deal with trolls, Ashley? She has her own troll hunter in her house, which is what I think.
I was like,
and he becomes my troll hunter too when
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, dude, I need your help.
Actually, I've been the victim of fake trolling, where people have assumed that I was the troll, but I actually wasn't. I had nothing to do with it.
Yeah, I remember
Yeah,
that.
it turned into a whole big chaos thing. I'm the type of person that I'm honest, I'm upfront, and I have no problem with confrontation. So if I will say it to you, I'm going to say it to them type thing. So for me, I don't even engage. Like, whatever. It's not even worth my time.
Have you ever been trolled for, like, your body or anything like that?
All the time. With my pages and stuff like that I've run, I've had lots of people who say, you know, you're ugly, you're fat, blah blah blah, like all those things, and I just go and delete them. My biggest thing is that I appreciate that people try to defend me. However, you're no better than the person that's trolling, because 9 times out of 10 it's a negative comment to reply with it, and that to me is not fixing a troll, it's creating more. So instead of fighting back with negative responses, being like, yeah, well, have you seen your profile picture, like things like that, it's just stupid. I think it's petty.
Yeah.
And if you have a problem with the way that I look, just tell me to my face. I dare you.
Double dog dare you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've had trolling too, but I mean, I'm the type of person that I don't go looking for it.
Yeah.
Like, when the Death Star was popular and it was being, like, put on, like, a whole bunch of different geek pages and stuff like that, I would go look afterwards. Actually, my husband is the one who usually does this. He goes and he finds it and then, like, tells me about it. Because I'm like, I don't care whether it's on one page or another.
Yeah.
And, but then I would see, like, trolling comments, and I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna stop looking at this.
Right? It's one of those things that it doesn't help, and I mean, the worst of it is nowadays everybody's a keyboard warrior.
Yeah.
Like, everybody feels safer behind a keyboard, and they'll say whatever, but as soon as you're in person, then they don't say anything. And actually, that's really funny, because the person that was claiming I was this person called me everything from a meth head to, like, destroying the way I looked and talking about how, you know, children's dads can't stay in the picture. Like, just freaking attacking everything they possibly could think, but yet when they seen me in public, they ran the other way.
Yeah.
So it's frustrating at that point. If you can't say it to my face, get off the freaking computer.
So then it starts off as, like, an attack on your body, and then, like, turns into, like...
It turns into everything else, and I don't even have to respond. And that was the worst of it, because not only were those people attacking me for things that were not even my doing, but they're attacking my life, my kids, my family, all of these things over something that's not even involved. Like, I'm not involved in it. And they had me blocked, so I couldn't even see their comments either. And that's frustrating too, because if you feel that you have the rights to say this stuff, why block the people?
No, that's true. So, like,
yeah, why not give you the opportunity to at least see it?
Yeah.
So I think if cosplayers are out there and they're concerned about their body and they do get trolled,
just block, delete, and move on.
First off, know that you are not alone.
Absolutely.
That there are cosplayers that get trolled all the time. One of the ways that I deal with the trolling, you feel free to borrow this one, is I like to go find the most ridiculous pictures of, like, the troll dolls from, like, the 80s with the fluffy hair, and doing the most stupidest things. And then I like to, like, just bombard that person who, like, trolled me, the troll, and send them, like, troll picture after troll picture, and that's like funny. Some of the people who follow my pages have done that too, and I've actually had, like, the trolls turn around and, like, just say, would you guys stop sending me fucking troll pictures all the time?
Stop being a troll.
Then stop being a troll. It's really quite easy like that.
Yeah.
But if you do get trolled and somebody makes a negative comment on your picture out there, cosplayers, just know we're on the same team.
Yeah.
It's happened to all of us.
And honestly, like I said, delete it, block them, and move on. It's not worth it. They're not worth your time and energy.
So that's what it comes down to. So, but here's the other flip side of being a troll. What do you do if somebody's costume is not looking good online? Do you shut your mouth? Because sometimes I do.
Sometimes.
Okay, so this is what I think on this. Unsolicited advice on costuming is never a good thing. If it's someone who asks for advice,
absolutely.
Then absolutely. So when you are granted the opportunity to be a judge, then, sometimes after the judging, people will say, well, what could I have done better? then that's solicited, and they want me to help them. But then there's other people who never ask,
Yeah.
don't want to know, and actually take offense if you tell them why they didn't win.
Yeah.
Or they, or if you were just approach someone and say, well, your weapon's no good because you didn't handle it enough.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
People don't want to hear that.
People have a hard time with being critiqued or any type of confrontation. So I get it. And I'm the same way. Like, I don't generally say anything unless I'm asked because, again, my skill level versus everybody else's skill level are two different things. Sometimes, it's unfair to be that person too. And as long as that person's okay with their thing, whatever. I can't really say anything. I just, shot a bunch of string up in the air.
Did you?
I did. Sorry,
Yeah,
Colin.
so, unsolicited advice, never a good thing.
Don't be a dick.
Right? Don't be a dick.
Just don't be a
So,
dick.
yeah, when after the Calgary Expo, we had a lot of people who approached the judging team and say, what could I have done? What could I have done? And it's like, these are the things I would definitely recommend for you. It's for anyone who's ever been judged for me, I flip everything, I check everything, I am right in there under their scene.
She's the dick.
I'm the dick. I lay on the floor. I want to see the quality of your workmanship, and if I believe you have done a really stellar job for the level, the category you are entered in, I will fight for you, just so you know. So, and, when you're judging, you have to leave your personal opinions of the individual out as well. Mm-hmm. And so that's super important to note. And, and like I said, if I judge you and then afterwards you approach me and you say, well, what could I have done differently? Or, what would have made me place? Then I can tell you what the winning cosplay had. Yeah. And then what stood out from yours. What areas for improvement you have, or what, what opportunities to improve your skill level you have.
But that's different. That's, once again, solicited as opposed to...
Yeah. Right. Don't be a dick.
Don't be a dick.
My, pet peeve phrase at a con is, you're the best, blah, 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 that I've seen all day. And that irritates me. Because, again, don't tear apart people's costumes just because. That is annoying to me. Everybody has their own skill, and everybody, has the ability to make something better than somebody else. But to be like, oh, I'm comparing this, or oh, did you see that one? It's way better. That's just frustrating.
Well, and let's face it, nobody is going to look like the character because they're not the character, right? Yeah. No matter how hard you try, just style your hair like Iron Man. You're not going to be Iron Man.
Well, and some people, definitely look a little bit more like the character, and some people, I'm sorry, I'm starting the place on fire here. My parchment got heated up there. Okay. Sorry for the smoke.
On fire.
Thanks, so that's going to be stuck in my head all
That
day.
reminds me of a yeast infection commercial. Every time.
Do they use that?
No, they should.
They totally should.
Right?
Crotch fires. But, yeah.
Crotch fires.
So I think it comes down to really, when it comes to issues of body positivity, I think it's just really to make yourself happy and, really just...
Right? And I think too, one of the things that I have learned over the last year, because I had a rough year, I'm not going to lie, a rough couple of years, and I became friends with a woman by the name of Lindsay, who is Silver Lining Cosplay, and she is super, super positive about everything and everybody. She is very Switzerland when it comes to things going on. The challenge with creative people is we all, we don't always get along because we are creative, and that's okay. But Lindsay always looks for the best in everything, every con, so one of the lessons that she taught me was that, you're always better to work from the inside on a positive voice than you are to work on the outside from a negative voice. So when we think about, the Expo's policy on shoes a couple of years ago, where everybody kind of lost their marbles, Lindsay was like, we'd be better off to write letters and email them and let them know our thoughts as opposed to going online and being social warriors, right? So I really have taken some of her lessons in positivity to heart in the last year, and I found that they've really helped me. And I think that we should all, really give it a shot to work from the inside out, work at being positive. When we have feedback for our local conventions, to let them know via email, but in a polite and positive way, not in a negative, you created this policy, therefore I'm dropping out and I want my refund, and being more like this.
Don't be a dick.
Right? This policy you know, if you worded it just slightly even different, you know, this policy, it's not going to be effective for all cosplayers because blah, blah, blah. Here's my solution, blah, blah, blah. It's going to be taken in a better light than, screw you, I want my refund, right?
Don't judge me.
Right? You totally were like, no, I'm totally going to the con. This is what I do.
That's
doesn't matter what the policy is, I'm going.
Yeah, I will adjust.
Right? Well, and that's what I say too. It's not my business. It's their business. That's how they make a living, the Expo Corp. And so whatever policy they want, I go with.
Do it. Well, here's another thing to their policies is that and this goes back to probably body positivity as well, is I find that some of their messages are a little hypocritical.
Yeah,
with regards to who they invite for like cosplay guests versus their costuming policies, right?
Yeah.
So.
Like the family friendly versus.
Yeah,
oh look, here's Bikini Girl.
Yeah, by the way, we're going to invite just cosplay models, not actual cosplay makers. So, you know, so to me that's a little hypocritical, but...
Well, and the male cosplayers.
Yeah.
The fact that we have very few male guests.
Not to mention that they don't get advertised.
No.
Why is that?
Yeah.
Like, it's like, oh, here's our male cosplay guest. They show up on the list of guests,
but
they never get an announcement. That blows my marbles.
Yeah, it really does. So
who comes up with this stuff? But seriously though, like this year we had some amazing cosplay guest male ones in Calgary, as well as in Edmonton. Like Kid Remington, he's awesome, and he's such a great guy. Also super positive for the community. And then we had Stush, and we had Clayton. Clayton, is that his name? Ash?
Clay.
Yeah. Clay. Yeah, we had Clay. These are Clay's Rainbow Dash. Can I just talk about that for not Rainbow Dash?
Spencer's Rainbow Dash.
Sorry, I'm getting them all mixed up now. Spencer's. It wasn't even Rainbow Dash. Rainbow Bright. Oh my gosh,
it's
Rainbow
so
Bright. Cute.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's that. But yeah, those guys deserved huge kudos, and they really didn't get it.
No. So there's like a double standard for male cosplayers.
And one of the things I found unusual this year at the expo in Calgary was that normally we have this wall of local cosplayers, and it was not there at Calgary at all.
No.
There was only 2 local cosplayers, I think.
I found that generally the cosplay this year at Calgary was kind of meh. Yeah.
That's because there was no drama beforehand.
Was it? Well, it's not that the cosplayers, weren't good that was out there. It's just that, you'd walk around on Saturday and it just wasn't.
See, I was sequestered to a room, so I missed everything, so you'll have to tell me.
Like, under the teepee is usually where it's, like, busy all the time for cosplayers, like, photo shoot after photo shoot. It's a beautiful day. Very little of that.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's just what I found, so... But the cosplay that I saw was awesome, though. So, there you go.
I think, we had a gentleman come up from the U.S. who actually plans a lot of major costume contests in the U.S. And he was blown away by our cosplay here. He was like, if the people who entered the contest are half as good as the people I've seen walking the floor, you guys are in big trouble as a judging team. Yeah. And I was like, well, they'll be even better. Because Alberta has amazing talent when it comes to cosplayers.
Talented cosplayers.
We have some really amazing, talented people here.
So, but...
Thanks for watching!
Make sure you like and subscribe.
And if you like what you saw here, make sure you leave a comment and let us know what you want to see in future episodes. Except for that. It's not happening. Wait, stop that.